Yeah, so what we have here is a set of Giro Riddance MTB flat shoes. First off, I think the lowest price I saw for these right now was £60. So that's a kind of ballpark figure, UK. £60 is what you're going to roughly pay for them new. Other things are they are water resistant. They're not going to stop your feet from getting wet, so I wouldn't really recommend them maybe in like a winter or a kind of early of the year, spring kind of area. I don't think they're really very good. My feet got wet quite quickly when it rained, so water resistant probably just means you can go through a couple of puddles and whatnot without your feet getting wet, and that seems to be somewhat accurate. Get that out of the way. As you can probably see, they are perforated, so yeah, like not really for winter use. Your feet are going to get cold, so definitely much more of a summer shoe. In terms of the sizing, this is an 8.5 and it fits me nicely, so I would say that they're pretty accurate on their sizing. I wouldn't say they come up short, small or big. I would say they're, you know, pretty much where they need to be. Also, toe box is relatively wide, so that's a good thing because I have wide feet and I don't have any problems with these. One of the things I did have an issue with is the insole, so you can see I've got the Elite insole in there. I just didn't like their insoles that they came with. I don't think there's anything wrong with them, it just didn't suit my foot shape, and I much prefer these ones. Just find them a little bit better in terms of padding. They have nice long laces, so you can do a little double knot in there without trying to mess with tiny little laces, and so that's a good thing, I guess. In terms of their durability, it's kind of hard for me to say. This one I have washed it. You imagine when you're riding, you kind of pick up some stuff that is pretty nasty. I don't really want on my shoes or on the camera. So yeah, this one's been washed recently. Probably done about 400 to 500 miles with them. And what we have is some indentations, I guess, from the pedals. So along there, down in this area as well, and here, as you would expect. Obviously the rubber's not going to be as strong as a metal pin on a pedal, so at some stage it will go through, but they seem to be holding up pretty well. In terms of their, in terms of their grip, I haven't had any problems, but like I said, I've only really used them in the summer, and I don't plan on using them in the winter or when it can be like raining heavily. So I don't know how well this is going to grip in the wet, but in the dry I've not had any problems riding a hardtail, doing cross country, a lot of road riding, kind of pushing it on the bike really. I guess the way that I ride is maybe more towards a gravel bike, but I just use a mountain bike for that purpose, so it kind of gives you some idea. So as far as I know as well, they are all synthetic, man-made materials. This one is a little bit weird. As you can see, it rocks, and it's not just like a normal rock. It's actually like a sideways rock, and I think it's it seems a little bit twisted from the factory, which is not a problem when you're riding, but when you're walking you do actually notice that, and you can kind of hear that it has it kind of does that. It makes two noises when your foot goes down, and you can feel that coming through the insole, so it feels a little bit weird to walk in them. So yeah, they're pretty, like I said, they're pretty stiff. So if we look at the Elite 2.0, this is quite a soft shoe. So you can see there's quite a lot of flex in that shoe. And if I just put the same amount of effort into this, you can see there's not a lot of flex. Personally, I prefer them to be a bit stiffer. Once again, that's an individual thing, and that's up to you. But yeah, other than the insole and maybe this one having some sort of manufacturing fault where it's a little bit twisted. If we get the Elite, just for example, we can move that back and forth because, as you can see under there, the shoes generally have something called toe spring, so the shoes generally come up like that. That's inbuilt into the shoe, so you would expect it to rock a little bit. But if we try and push it like left and right, it's really not bad at all. That's basically just that bit that it pivots on. If we get the other shoe as well, you can see that just moves a little bit, kind of normally. So it's definitely some sort of manufacturing fault with this one, where it seems like it's just sprung up maybe too much in one corner. But yeah, for £60, I'm struggling to find really any faults with them. So yeah, they seem like a good shoe. Not really much else I can say on that, I guess.